Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility.
What's up, YouTube? We're back. Madaras Corner talking some anime. You know it. Tokyo Revengers episode 5 came out this past week. We're gonna break it down, dissect it, let you know what we thought about it. Basically a recap for episode 5. Kisaki and Shifu, Takamichi, all of them have to work together. You kind of saw it in episode 4. They're talking about a plan on Christmas night to take out the Black Dragon's leader. But when it starts off this episode, you kind of see the resentment from Shifu to Kisaki, because of course he understands that that's the guy that's going to end up killing him in the future, and they really still can't grasp the goal of that Kisaki has. So he basically is trying to help them stop Hakai from killing his brother Taiju, but they start giving the plan pretty much of what they're gonna do on Christmas Day, how they're gonna handle it. But you get a lot of flashbacks of Takamichi and what's her name, Hinata, like when they're talking and everything, and you get a glimpse of Takamichi finding out that Hinata actually is friends with Kisaki. They actually grew up in school. They became friends, and so you start to notice that there's a relationship between them knowing each other and Takamichi knowing each other. But there was an interesting part because I noticed when they showed the flashback of when Kisaki and Hinata were walking, and there was a few kids beating up a cat, and of course you see Takamichi fly in with his cape like a superhero, and pretty much he gets beat up like he always does in the anime, but he saved her and the cats. But at the back you see Kisaki, younger Kisaki, looking, and then there's a random guy looking, and I was trying to figure out who this guy was, but there's no telling when you have the butterfly effect type of thing in your show. So I'm sure at some point we'll find out what it is. Um, and then you get a point where Takamichi's talking to Hinata's father, Masato, and he basically, tells him, I've heard a lot of great things about you. You're a great man, but since you're a criminal, I don't want you with my daughter. So I need you to break up with her. And it really hits Takamichi because he remembers from last season where she tells him at one point, "You broke up with me right here on Christmas Eve." And he's like, I never realized why I would, because she's telling him she loves him, and you see how much she loves. She talks to her mom about him, and everything about it is they're going to end up together. The future is theirs, and he understands that he has to break up with her to save her. And I think we touched on it. I remember you touched on it one of the episodes, talking about at some point he may have to love her enough to let her go to stop the cycle. And so I think that's where we're at a bit with it. And then all that really happens after that is you end up seeing them. They're having their meeting, talking about what's going to happen at the Christ Church in Shibuya. I think that's how you say it. Shibuya.
Shibuya.
Okay, yeah, I got it right. Yeah, and so the Christmas Eve is basically on. It's leading into the next episode of that. I mean, for me, there was a lot of story of what it was giving you. I understand it's a talking anime. We always get this, but I wasn't mad at it, but I wasn't like, oh man, this is really good. Like it was pushing the needle of a new, I guess, turning point of where they're trying to go to, because you see Takamichi trying to now save Kasaki after Hinata basically is like, no, he was a great guy. He was the smartest guy in school. He was a really nice person. And we know Kasaki as a murderer, a criminal. basically the bad guy of this whole anime. And so you're really starting to get that. Is Takamichi going to try to save him also? Is he trying to, does he have to save him to change the future type of thing? And so I did like how it really made me think of, okay, where is everything going with all of this? Because as we know, they're getting ready for what is probably the biggest thing, going behind Mikey and Draken's back, going against Black Dragons fully. I mean, you're going against their boss, so it's about to get interesting for sure. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm genuinely I'm okay with what happened this week of getting ready for the Christmas Day operation that is going to come up.
When the when Takamichi got beat up, was it because of a cat or was it because the Hina was getting bullied?
I believe they were beating him up because she had Hinata told him that he was like, I lost that fight, and she goes, yeah, but you're the bravest person I know because you knew you were gonna lose and you still came and defended me. And she goes, that was the day
Right,
that I
right,
fell in love with you.
right. Man, you missing those that important detail, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
That's the
it's
day she fell in love with him, man.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna say, man. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the whole reason why she, started taking that interest in him was because she felt that, he had that winning spirit, that champion spirit in him. So
yeah,
therefore, it allowed her to, know that he's always going to do the right thing. And even though he's a gang member, we had that discussion earlier. Like, the Tomo gangs is they're not technically like a gang, that what we associate a gang with. I know Chifu like kind of proves us different because he pulls out a knife out of anywhere, any
yeah,
situation. But I mean, I guess the way Tamakichi runs his gang, his group, they're not out there extorting, other people and stuff like that. So that being said, you know, that's why I feel like, that's why Hina is always that allows herself to love him for who he is, unless she's just like, hey, I like people with dark souls. Because even if you watch like Tamakichi, not Tamakichi, but oh, what's his name? Ooh, man, dang, I forget it. Kisai, Kisaki. After you watch
yeah,
Kisaki, you already get that ominous feeling from him as a little kid. Like, oh, he's gonna
yeah,
grow up to be a murderer. Like, he probably instigated those kids to go beat up that cat. Or like,
yeah,
to
yeah,
say like kill animals. He's a psychopath. So that kind of thing kind of like made me laugh. Because I was just like, oh man, he walks like he's a psychopath.
yeah,
So maybe she's just drawn to that kind of like infamy, man. So, but yeah, I think they laid out that strategy. If you notice how everybody has different hair, like like he had brown hair when he was a kid, Tamagichi, right? Brown hair when he had a kid, blonde hair when he was an adolescent, and then he has black hair as an adult. Like, I mean, was that explained? Is he dyeing his hair, or like, is that like that's kind of weird, ain't it? Like, nobody caught on to that. Like, I was
the hair
like, man,
dye.
that's kind
Okay,
of weird. Yeah,
yeah,
like, so I mean, I have brown hair, right? And then when I get in the sun, it turns reddish. That's from my
yeah,
grandma's side. But it's like my hair never turned blonde.
yeah,
My whole life. I mean, I got white hair and gray now, but like,
yeah. It's the hair
yeah.
change is
So
very weird
that's
for these characters.
so. How many episodes are we into Tokyo Revengers?
We're heading into episode 6.
We're heading into episode 6. We have now watched Tamagichi cry 5 episodes straight. That
Yes.
boy has shed a tear every single episode. I don't think an episode has went by where that boy has not cried.
No.
He called himself a gang. Oh my god! Remember, Chifu was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like, look, the gang life are not for some people, and this is Tamagichi's man. It is not for this man. So, yeah, so that's pretty much my input on the episode. Um, yeah, it kind of answers some of our questions on like why did Tamagichi break up with Hina, right? Because her dad said, "Hey, I don't want you dating my daughter." Kind of made reasonable sense, like in his head, like, "Hey, if I break up with her, I'm saving her the troubles later down the road." Now we have to ask the question, like, did he break up with her because of the father told her to, or because it was predestined for it, or did he already know that he had to break up with her? Those are kind of questions that we got to get dig deep into. Is it like this is the fourth iteration of him going back in time, so he already knew he had to break up with her, or like is when he goes back in time, his memory is like spotty, like there's a lot of broken spots, black spots in his memory. So it is like, does he not remember the reason why? Because remember, like he was that genuinely like confused when he like said, "Hey, like, oh yeah, Kisai, Kisai, I know him, and he's like, what? Like, you know him? And I thought we were getting some like she's like a link in the past, and she has the memories still of every iteration he comes by. But then it turned out that she's part of, like, they went to cram school together, and I was like, oh man, that would have been like such an awesome twist. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been like a really cool twist, right? Like she has these memories. She knows, like, every time he think he's just going back, but she's really like pulling her back into time with him, and she's like, like maybe like this is Andrew throwing weird theories out there, but maybe she's like the true ultimate villain, because like he keeps bringing her back and not allowing her to like develop, and she dies every single time, and she's trying to save her own life. You know what I'm saying? So, and she doesn't understand why she's being brought back to adolescence every single time. So, I don't know, man. That's a bit like a really cool twist in this whole Tokyo Revenger thing. That would have been like a really cool twist. But that's me just using my small little anime brain. But yeah, how do you enjoy the episode, man? I mean, what do you think of it, man? You gave us a recap. What are your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I enjoy whenever they move the story. And I mean, there was a little extra stuff, but I felt it was key to what's going to happen coming up, like the breaking up, the dad, why he broke up. Maybe that's a reason. I do like how they were giving the game plan of how Christmas Eve is going to go down. Like, Takamichi, you're going to take care of what's his name? Hakai, and then we're going to fight basically Taiju, and like kind of like a group thing, because we all know Takamichi's not the best fighter in the group. He's not the guy that I'd call on, but the other ones are, and so they're gonna do the muscle while he does the talking, which is what he's good at. It's the way he's advanced in Tomen already, of making people think like Mikey and all them. So if he made Mikey in Dragon Change, I'm pretty sure Hakai is gonna be one of those. I'm gonna give it about, for now, I'll give it a 4, and I'm only giving it a 4 because of the storytelling. Because I know it's a shorter season than season 1, so I know that they're trying to cram in a lot more. I remember people that read the manga told me it's a shorter arc. Also, the Christmas Eve arc is a shorter arc, so I figured it would be shorter. But I'm gonna give it a 4 only because of the storytelling of how they're touching back with stuff that I had questions on in the past, of the necklace he gave her, and the him remembering of why they broke up, and stuff like that, because now it's opening doors of what's going to happen when this happens in episode 6, which is called Wipe Up Morale. And so, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to where the story is going to go next. It looks like it's going to be the mission at hand now. It's Christmas Eve, and we're going to get some action, hopefully. Hopefully,
Well, you're being a lot more generous than me. I gave it a
Not
3.5 in my book, maybe 3.7 in my book. As far as story driven, kind of other than finding out about the reason why he broke up with Tina, or one of the reasons why he broke up with Tina, because we know this is like his, whatever trip back into time, right? So, and then them getting together, making a plan. Like, dude, we could have got that in episode 6, and then the fight.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like they're gonna recap it in episode 6 anyway, right? Like they're
yeah,
gonna do a voiceover saying this is what we're gonna do. Like, so nonsensical. We could have got the whole fight and everything, or at least like got up to the moment of the church or something like that. Like they're walking up to it, and we're like, oh yeah, next one's gonna be it. No, episode 6 is gonna talk more. He's gonna run
yeah,
around town and blah 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 blah. Goo, cry some more. Like, oh, biting back them tears. Like for another episode. Then we're gonna go to episode 7, and then we're gonna get the video where we're gonna get walking up the steps of Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, and then episode 8 we're gonna get the fight. Right, so I'm calling it right now. So, Tokyo Revengers, beautiful animation. I liked it. I really thought they could do a lot more plot twists, and I think it would have came out a lot better. Gave in more little, like I said, man, having her like remember, or be like, oh man, this is she's a tie-in to the whole arc or something like that, or something in that nature. I think that would have been a lot cooler. But like I like it. It was story driven. It went pretty good. The whole flashbacks and everything like that was nice. We already got the sense that Tamaguchi has that fighter spirit, so it's good to see that it's been consistent his whole life. So we're good with that. Now we get a little in-depth feelings of Hina's feelings towards him and why she's in love with him so much. I mean, we kind of figured, but now we know the
yeah,
reason why. So it's nice. I think they're setting up two things. They're gonna set up like one. I think she's gonna die earlier than the car crash. You know what I'm saying? Or because it gives you that kind of like, why give us this lovey-dovey, mushy story about her that really has nothing to do with anything? So I don't know. I haven't read the manga, so this is me just throwing speculations out there everywhere. So that's it on my Tokyo Revengers 3.7. I like it. It was great. It was a good Tokyo Revengers so far has been consistently getting better as episodes go by. I
yeah,
like it. That's really good on there.
yeah. Another thing that I forgot is this is 2 episodes where Kasaki's kind of taken a shot at Mikey, and it feels like it's like a seed a bit, like for where we're going through to in the future. Like the first last episode, he's like he's getting weaker after the Baji one, and then this one, he's like, we need to help him because he's not in the right mindset, and so it kind of makes you wonder where Mikey leads into this coming up in the next few episodes. But for sure, it's something that will come up, I'm sure, in one of these episodes. I mean, let us know in the comments what y'all think this episode was ranked. I know all over Twitter people have been talking good and bad about it. Um, And just let us know like what other animes you want us to do, man. We're open to more. We do Tokyo Revengers, we're doing Vinland Saga, we're gonna be doing Blue Lock. We got a lot more on the list, but let us know what you like to watch, what you want us to talk about. Maybe there's stuff that we miss, maybe there's stuff that you miss. This is what the anime community is about. We help each other out. We figure out, we talk about what we like, what we don't like, and we go from there. But make sure you follow us on TikTok at Madaras Corner. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you join our Facebook group. We're going to be on all platforms. Make sure you like, subscribe for more content, and we're out. Man.